My name is DJ Chuang. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, and in this video I'll be answering the question, what is the role of the church in caring for or educating people who struggle with mental illness? I'll say it this way, that the church has a huge opportunity for ministering and caring for people who struggle with mental illness, and to maintain the healthiness of everyone in the church and the community about mental health. Because the church is a place where people can receive the love of God and to be cared for as a whole person. Not only their spiritual life, but their whole life. And that's why churches have traditionally been a place of spiritual and theological education, a place of worship, or you might say a house of worship, and also a place for community where people can have relationships with others in their neighborhood, people who are walking through the stages of life and having a place where they can flourish, a place where they can grow spiritually, physically, mentally, and relationally, just as Luke chapter 2 verse 52 describes how Jesus grew in favor with men and with God. And so the church has a huge opportunity, because the church is one of the only places that people of all kinds of life goes on a weekly basis. I mean, think about the rhythm of life for most people. They might go to work, or they might go to school, and then they might go to, say, the grocery store at least once a week, maybe, and they might go to the hair salon or the barbershop once a month. And, well, at the place of work and school, one is for education and one is for productivity. So that's not really going to be a place where you're going to get personal care or self-care or community care for the rest of your life. And so what the church can do, they have an opportunity to serve the real and practical and felt needs of people, especially with regards to mental health. A second reason is obedience to Scripture. The Bible calls upon us as the church to love God and to love people, to love our neighbors as ourselves. And as a part of showing love, it's to care for the whole person. And we see that well illustrated in the parable of the Good Samaritan, that the Good Samaritan saw someone in need, someone in pain, someone who is physically hurt, and certainly also emotionally hurt, and provided practical care for them. And Jesus used that story to show us an example of how we can be followers of Christ and show love to neighbor. Not through just answering theological questions or being spiritual, also caring for the real practical needs and even the emotional and mental needs that our neighbors have. And of course, we can care for people who are in the family of God, for that is also our calling and our invitation to really live out our faith. And so the church can provide, and compellingly provides, this place of safety, of sanctuary, of support for people who struggle with mental health. And unfortunately, the church here in America has not had a long history of being known as a safe place for those who struggle with mental health. And I think it is time. It is time overdue for the church to step in, to step up, and become known for a place of loving people, especially when they're weak, especially when they're struggling with mental health. So let's change that narrative. Let's change that reputation. Church, it's your opportunity to really let the love of God shine through your care for your community in the area of mental health. I'll add a couple links of resources for you in the show notes so that your church can take the next step towards becoming a safe place for people who struggle with mental health.